everyone, welcome back to my channel and namaste. I am Janvi Gurung. I have currently given my final year exams and I'm currently waiting for my results. I studied at Virat Medical College and Teaching Hospital, and today I'm here to give you some tips and tricks about how to conquer your third year exams as well as your practicals. So in this video, I'll only be completing the theory and the practical part, but that is for like the ones who have just begun your third year journey, like the ones who have just started your third year classes. And these are not for the ones who are currently going to give their third year exams. But if you want me to make a more exam oriented video about what are the most important questions and most important topics in Viva, then please leave a comment down below and I would gladly do that. So as all of us know, in our third years we have the 4 subjects, which are ENT, ophthalmology, community medicine and forensic medicine. Now these 4 topics are very important, and how do they differ from the other years is that these 4 topics have little to no relation with one another. So when you are learning a topic or you are learning a subject, then you are not able to carry on that information into the other subject. So what it becomes is that it makes it very difficult for you all to correlate and to remember more things, to retain things, and also it feels very vast, right? But I will give you some tips and tricks which I have used, which I have figured out through my years, and hopefully it will be of some help to you. So ENT is a very important and interesting topic in which there are many surgeries as well as procedures that you all have to know about, but this is also one of the most daunting subjects of our entire third year. So I suggest you all to take your theory classes and your practical lessons very seriously. So beginning with, I would like to suggest 3 books for ENT. The first book I would like to suggest for you is The Diseases of the ENT by Dr. P.L. Dhingra and Dr. Shruti Dhingra. This is a very nice book. The illustrations are excellent, and all that the teachers want to ask from you are everything, like for the Viva questions, everything are covered in this book. There's a smaller book, and this smaller book will be very helpful for you in understanding what cases and understanding what the patients present with and understanding the most asked questions also. So I suggest you to either buy it or you can lend it from your friend, and you can just make notes and give it back to them. So the other book, which is even more important, is Dr. Sakshi Arora's Assessment and Review of ENT. So this book contains not only the salient features from Dhingra, but it also contains those from Scott Brown's. So you need to have an extra edge when it comes to some of the topics. So you should also look at this book. Also, it has a very concise manner of putting things. So when you actually read Dr. Sakshi's book, you will feel that you have learned a lot of things in a short amount of time. However, you will also feel that you have not quite understood it. It will just be like you're memorizing or rote learning. So I suggest you to first read the Dhingra book, then you go for the Sakshi Arora ma'am's book. Then last, if some of you want to have an extra edge, then you may also look at Scott Brown's Otorhinolaryngology. This is a very vast book. It is very heavy. I have carried it multiple times. I just could not read it for more than 2 or 3 times because it was just so vast, and we don't need that much in our MBBS course. So if you want to learn more about like the important topics such as otitis media, or you want to know about the deviated nasal septum or how to do septoplasty, then you could go into further knowledge by using Scott Brown's Otorhinolaryngology. But the other 2 books are more than enough for what I have said. Now the most important thing is that you have to make a notebook for ENT. Now how you use the notebook is that first you read what is there in Dhingra, then you can make small notes for yourself, then you can again further leave some space at the end of each note. Then after reading Dr. Sakshi's book, you can also add some of the important features that you found in that book that was lacking in this book into your notebook. Now the important part is that Dhingra has paragraphs. Now these paragraphs will be difficult for you to retain for a longer period of time. That is why I suggest you to make notes for this. Now moving on to the practicals. Now the practicals are very important, and everything that you need to learn in the practical is in the later chapters of Dhingra's book. Now when you read those, you will not be able to retain everything, obviously. So you need to have a partner for you to practice everything with. And when you practice it with your partner, then only you will be remembering most of the things. So that is what we did. We took our practical classes very seriously. You have to learn about the bullseye lamp, about the focal length, about the diameter of the outer ring, the inner ring, why is there an inner ring, why is the circle not complete, or everything. So you have to learn all that. So ENT as a topic is very, very, very interesting as well as vast. So you'll have a lot of fun with ENT, I assure you that. You just have to take your practicals as well as your theory classes together and seriously. Now what I want to talk about in ophthalmology is that this was one of the most interesting topics that I had ever learned in my life. I had so much fun learning ophthalmology, and there was one quote which really stuck with me. It was, "Your eyes can't see what your mind doesn't know," and that was said to us by our teacher. As a student, I found ophthalmology very interesting. Now there are two books that I would like to recommend to you. The first book is Dr. A.K. Khurana's Comprehensive Ophthalmology. This book is more than enough. In fact, you don't even need all of this information because you won't be able to retain it, and it will only exhaust you. So you only need to learn the important topics that have already been asked previously in the exams, as well as the topics that are already on your roster, because those are according to the syllabus. Now this book contains more than what is required for undergraduate students, but however, if you want to learn, you can learn it. And this book is very comprehensive. There are various facts, and ophthalmology is all about studying and recollecting, studying and memorizing. So you have to do repetitive questioning, like repetitive asking to yourself. You have to put gaps in between and quiz your friends and let your friends quiz you. So ophthalmology as a subject is all about flashcards. So you have to make a lot of flashcards. Then the second book that I would like to recommend to you is Parsons' Diseases of the Eye, but that is also a PG level book. So if you want to, you can read it, but A.K. Khurana is more than enough. Then for the practicals, you have A.K. Khurana's the 9th edition. They have a small book for practicals, and in the 8th edition they have the practicals book fused with the original book. So you have to learn everything that is within those 60-70 pages, because those are one of the most important facts that you will have to recount in your practicals. And if there's something that seems very confusing to you, for example the visual pathway or the light reflex pathway, then you could ask your teachers and you could let them tell you what are the lesions that happen at different areas. For example, what kind of visual field defect you are going to see if there is a right tract lesion, right? So all of these things, your teachers will be able to facilitate you through this. If you do not understand, you can also look at the YouTube videos, which are very, very easy. So for the practicals, you have to follow your small book as well as your teacher's guidance. Last thing is that you need to repeat and repeat everything that you have already learned, that you have already studied, and you have to just quiz yourself from time to time regarding ophthalmology. Now moving on to my all-time favorite subject. This is community medicine. Community medicine has always been such an important part of my journey as a medical student, because I have really enjoyed all the classes that we had, every experience that we had to go through, all the field visits and all the practicals too. Now community medicine is a very holistic subject. Its integration into our curriculum is a very important thing, because it allows you as students to learn about what kind of problems that people are dealing with, how diseases are just a representation of the living standards, of the water condition, of the sanitation levels. For community medicine, we all know the golden book. We have Park's textbook of preventive and social medicine. This book is very important, so you do not need to study this book in your final exams. You just need to make sure that before you go to classes, you flip through the 2 or 3 pages of the topic that are in your book that are going to be presented today. And I really enjoyed the entire experience of community medicine too. The second book that I would like to recommend for you is Vivek Jain's review book of Preventive and Social Medicine. This is also a very interesting book. You have for those of you who like to quiz yourself, who like to challenge yourselves, this book has MCQs at the back, so you can study everything as well as you can recall them time to time too. Also, it has like important parameters like those required for housing and lighting and ventilation and everything. So this will also make it easier for you in your practicals. Now the other book, or more than a book, it's a website, is I Hate PSM, and the name is quite funny, but this is one of the most important and this is one of the most useful websites that I have come through in my journey as a medical student. This is actually a blog post, and this contains everything about regarding the Kupuswamy scale, the modified Kupuswamy scale, the newer and more improved advances in health, and all the policy making, everything. So I suggest if you have any doubts about any topics, then you can go through this website also. It also has the 24 dietary recall method explained very well. So I usually took my practical knowledge from this website. Then moving on, for Nepali students, you have to learn about the NDHS, or the Nepal Health Survey. This you have to know about the number, the mortality rate, the morbidity rate, the vaccination rate, the efficacy of the vaccination, and everything, all the programs that are currently going on for the non-communicable disease prevention, mother and child healthcare, etc. You will be asked about these questions in your exams. Now for the practicals, everything you have learned in your theory classes are going to be carried over to your practical knowledge. So please take your practicals very seriously. More than passing your exams, community medicine is about how you grow as a person, how you are going to contribute in the society as a person, as a medical professional. So community medicine is a very important and interesting topic. I hope all of you will enjoy learning it. Also, for those of you who like international relations, community medicine also has a chapter of international health, so you will enjoy that topic very much. Now for forensic medicine, forensic medicine is a little different than all the other subjects, because you'll also have to learn about death, the time after death, the changes after that, also about drowning, about electrocution, about injuries, about firearms, about forensic odontology, and everything else. And for this purpose, I would like to recommend Dr. Gautam Biswas' book for you. If you also want, the actual standard book is Dr. Reddy's, but however, I found that it was a little too deep for me. I got lost in it a lot of times, so I really could not understand much from it, but I understood a lot more from Dr. Gautam Biswas' book, because the topics were also separated in a very easily comprehensible way, as well as there were pictures in it, which I really love looking at pictures. So I would also suggest you all to opt for the Gautam Biswas book, but if you want, you can go for the Reddy book also. Then the practicals about forensic medicine. Practicals are all about your theory knowledge, carrying it on to your practical knowledge. So in your practical classes, please do not hesitate to ask your teachers about any queries that you might have, because this is a very interesting topic, forensic medicine. Also, you'll have so much fun learning about the toxins, about snake bites, about gunshots and everything, and about how to comprehend it. This forensic medicine is more of a logical, you'll have to be more logical and more critical thinker in forensic medicine, but you'll also need to have an excellent memory to retain everything. So for this also, I would like to request you all to repeat again and again, like quiz your friends time and again about anything that you want, like what is the ossification pattern of the sternum, or about how do you demonstrate a pulmonary embolism, everything like that. So forensic medicine as a topic is very interesting. I hope you have a lot of fun time navigating through all the courses, especially the Nepali students. In your MBBS journey, many of you will tell you not to use fast tracks, and basically they try to boycott it, and they will also look down on some of you for reading through fast tracks or something. But what you all need to know is education no matter where you get it from. So if you're learning from a fast track, that is much better than you not learning at all. However, I do not only tell you to learn from your fast track, because fast tracks are only for you to pass your exams. First, I request you to read your book, then you can go through your fast track. You can add on to your fast track what the topics that are not covered in your book. And in the end, during your final exams, it will be much easier for all of you to cover everything at once. Because this is a mistake that I have made, that I only read through my books. I only went through the fast track 1 or 2 times when I could not understand the topics that were given in the book, and I just needed some points, how to write my exam notes or something. So because I did that, in the finals I was left with a very thick book where I had to sift through it all very quickly, and that led to a state of burnout for me. So I hope all of you take this advice of mine very seriously, and you have to buy your fast track. However, please don't only study from the fast track, because in the end of the day, you are not here just to pass your exams, just to get a degree. You are here to help people, you're here to do your job, you're here to become a doctor, you're going to practice that. So it will be much easier for you to practice if you have more knowledge on the topic. Now lastly, some of you are asking me about the subscription programs such as Marrow or Prep Ladder or Cerebellum. So what I would like to say is that if it works for you, then please go do that. Please study however you want. But do I think it's a necessity? I do not think it's a necessity. I think that if you study your books and your notes, then that is more than enough. However, if you do want that extra edge, then you can buy those platforms if you are able to afford it. If you are not able to afford it, then you can find your friends if they have bought these subscriptions, or you could buy it in a joint venture, or you could also read through their notes. And you should not hesitate to ask your friends about all these questions. Also, some YouTube channels that I found very useful were we have Medicosis Perfectionalis, Armando Hasurigan, and we also have Ninja Nerd for some of the topics. Osmosis is also very important for small topics. So some of the medical centers in Nepal, what they do is that they teach you the 4th year subjects also in the 3rd year. I suggest you all not to neglect those 4th year subjects, because you will have to follow those in your 4th year again. Just take things as they are in your 4th year. In my personal experience, I went through a lot of things. I lost some friends. I made bonds stronger with my older friends. I got a lot of criticism from my seniors, from my teachers, but I also got a lot of love from my seniors, from my teachers, from my juniors, which made it very worth it at the end of the day. So I want all of you to know that because you will be going into your clinical years, you will be experiencing more patients, more conversations with teachers, with seniors, with the other staff. I want all of you to be more comfortable, more confident in yourself, and I want you all to love yourself. I want all of you to know that at the end of the day, whatever people tell about you, who you are as a person is who you are as a person. So none of those things are going to matter in the end. So please don't take too much stress, don't get burnt out. So that's it for today, guys, and I hope you really enjoyed me ranting through these. I don't know how many minutes I'm going to edit of this, but I really enjoyed making this video for you. If there are any other topics that you would like me to cover, please leave them down below, and I will get through that very fast, or eventually, because I have my holidays going on, I have nothing to do. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, share and subscribe. Send to your friends, send to your parents.